everyone. How's it going? Woo, new intro.
Hello.
Yeah.
Did you like our song?
Did you like our song?
What do you guys think? Let us know. We got a sweet new intro made specially just for us. Care of my friend Justine and Joe in Montreal, so big ups to them.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Making
thank you very
spooky
much.
80s stuff happen.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I like it. It's very,
Speaking of spooky 80s stuff,
go on.
we're about to watch a movie, I think.
Yeah.
I think we're about to watch a movie. We're about to watch a movie.
Well, I guess we should introduce ourselves. We haven't recorded in a while since our live episode at Shockstock. We've been busy. I moved, and then we had conventions to go to.
Busy being drunk in the summertime, pretty much.
I know. It's true.
We gotta have lives too, man.
But at last, we are finally recording again, and we are watching Night of the Creeps. And this is actually a very exciting episode because Morgan has never seen it.
I know, guys, I know. Megan told
Like,
me
with the
earlier
food-
that, well, we'll get into it, but she
We'll
said she
get
would
into
cut
it.
me.
Yeah. And you
She
know what?
essentially threatened my life.
It's even funnier that she hasn't watched it because, as we'll get into, I'm sure at some point, this is one of those movies where you fucking saw the case in the video store.
Oh, I absolutely
you saw Night of the Creeps.
I fucking
at Blockbuster,
love
Jumbo Video, whatever.
The poster. There's a few different posters for this one. Like the main two ones are the one with the date and the tux.
Yeah.
That one, I love that poster. I framed it. I put it in my
face
kitchen.
is all fucked.
And
Yeah.
there's
Good,
the other
it's
one
good.
where it's just the zombie hand.
I prefer the date.
The date one is so fucking awesome.
Yeah,
So
that
we're
one
at
is
the,
super iconic.
So we're at the
I remember
beginning of the
seeing
movie.
it.
Yes, me and
and these guys
Morgan's
are
gotta
so
love this.
cute. I fucking love these little aliens.
Look at their bums.
Their
Yeah.
little
Alien
bums and their
bums.
little tails and their fucking adorable faces. Like, I just want to squeeze them.
Yeah, they're pretty
I
cute.
love these aliens, and they're honestly they're so great. They're so adorable. They remind me kind of the Minions from The Gate, like the way that they
Yeah.
waddle.
Totally.
Like,
You know what's funny?
Punch their butt cheeks.
I love how, like, the fucking subtitles come up and it's in a foreign
It's
alien
in the
language.
alien
Like, there's
language.
Well, thank you for putting that on the screen
Right?
for us.
Yeah, I know. I love it. I like also that their mouths don't move.
No,
And
it's
like,
horrifying,
actually, you know what their skin kind of reminds me of? Fucking Richard Mole's skin in Metal Storm.
Oh my
That
God.
me and Morgan watched Metal Storm last
Oh,
night.
fuck.
And it's a Charles Band movie, and Richard Mole is a Cyclops, but what they did with the makeup was they just put like armpit skin over one eye.
Essentially armpit skin.
They didn't give him, like, a central eye?
No.
They just covered up the one eye.
Right.
It's full moon.
More of a ritual cyclops.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
I see, okay.
But yeah, so I'm excited Morgan's finally watching this. Actually, one time we started it at
Yes.
your place
Yeah.
because I was like, you gotta watch this. I can't believe you've never seen this. But we fell asleep.
This is a sleep
It was
happens,
late.
yeah.
It was late. But what I love so much about this movie is that it's so campy. That is the word that I would use to describe this movie. It's the
Look at the
perfect,
font. It's beautiful.
It's one of those, I know, like the colors.
Yeah.
The aesthetic of this movie like speaks to like the perfect like 80s like sleepover, you know what I mean? Like when you have your friends over, and it has so many different elements involved. It's got aliens, it's got slugs, it's got zombies, it's got Tom Atkins.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
it's-
Yeah, dude.
I know, right? Like it's a fun campy movie. I love it. I love the Bradster. We'll get to him later.
Yeah, the
The Bradster.
Bradinator.
But yeah, it's a fun movie. So we'll get started on the facts, and or should we? Let's talk a little bit about what we've been doing for the past.
Let's catch up.
Oh my
couple
God,
months.
yeah.
Yeah, let's catch up.
Let's spill
So-
some tea,
yeah.
girls.
Yeah,
Let's spill some tea.
yeah. So yeah, I guess the Shockstock episode was probably released about a month ago. But yeah, we got a little busy. But what have we been doing? We went to the Niagara Falls Comic-Con.
We did.
That
And-
was huge. It was huge.
The success.
Oh, fuck. It was so successful. And we almost didn't make it, but we fucking made it. And I'm so glad that we did because meeting Chris Sarandon.
Oh my God.
He's the sweetest man you've ever met.
And we
my
were
God.
like
So
ogling him from afar at his
We
table.
were.
And literally, we were in line. I think I was in line to meet Michael Biehn.
That's right.
Real quick. And we were like kind of looking over there. And we were like, nobody is in line to meet him. He was literally like by himself.
I know, yeah.
And we actually paid for the photo op. We were like, we're going to meet him. And most of the advertising that I saw was for Nightmare Before Christmas because he voiced Jack
Princess
Skellington
Bride.
and Princess Bride. And it was like, nope, it didn't say like Star of Fright Night.
I know.
I guess it's too far
And
back or
Child's
whatever.
Play.
Right?
I think that the
If it
fact
was
that
a-
everyone was there for, I think Princess Bride really connects almost with that anime vibe. That like Princess
Yeah.
Bride is very much a knight in shining armor and
Yeah,
a princess,
fantasy,
and that's
like-
very fantasy like,
Yeah.
type deal. And then what was the other one we were saying? Oh, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh,
So many noids out there.
fuck,
I mean, I love
know.
you people. Like, 90% of our listeners are probably obsessed with Tim Burton. You know what I
I
mean?
was at one point in my life, but I just can't
But
stand
when you're
him
meeting
now.
Chris Sarandon, you gotta respect the man for his actual accomplishments.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, like,
And,
if anybody's listened to our Fright Night episode, like, you know, like, we were screaming,
it's
our
the
ovaries
best episode.
exploded.
Like,
Yeah.
it's our best episode.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to get
Totally.
somebody started on the podcast, just tell them to start with the Fright Night episode.
Who's gonna tell the story about what he told us about his sweaters and his
Oh
shopping?
my God.
experience?
Okay, well, when we talked to him, we walked into the room for the photo op, and we were in line, but there was one girl behind us, and then we told her to just go ahead.
We were like, yeah, just go ahead
And
of us.
she's like,
'cause we
"Are
were
you
like,
sure?"
We were like, if we are at the end of the
Like,
line,
I
we're gonna
wanna
be able
talk
to have
him.
time.
Yeah,
with
and
him.
like, and she was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" Like, and we were like, "Yeah, no,
Oh,
go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead,
We have
girl.
things to
We're
say
so
to him."
nice.
I know. I was like, "We have things to say to Chris Sarandon, so you just go ahead of us." And she did. And then when we walked in there, we were like, "Okay, well, Morgan, you tell the story about your friends that recently met him a couple months ago at a different convention."
Yeah, so I have a couple of friends who live in Texas, and I believe they went to, I think it was Texas Frightmare.
Okay.
I think. And they met him, and they said that they listened to our Fright Night episode on the way down to drive to the con, just to sort of get prepped or whatever. And so they were sort of in the zone, and when they showed up and they started talking to him, they actually brought up our podcast and they were talking about him, and they actually made him read aloud one of our Instagram posts that was, I think, his birthday post. And like, could you imagine him reading aloud something to the effect of like, you know, happy birthday to the sexy sweater wearing vampire. And like, he was reading this aloud, and we were cracking up. And they actually got a signed picture for us. It was signed to the entire podcast, and they sent it to my house, and that was really, really funny. So we were really excited to go and actually meet him and stuff. And did we actually bring it up?
No,
to
we
him?
did.
No,
That
we
was
did.
like the first thing that we said.
Okay,
We did, and
Because
he
we
was
wanted
kind of
to-
like, "Oh yeah." I mean,
Yeah,
what
he's
are you gonna do, right? Like,
Well, because we wanted to like make sure that he was aware of like what we were, right? Like we were like, hey, we wanted to tell him that we're a podcast and the Fright Night episode is our favorite episode, and we love you and we love your sweaters.
Yeah.
And then that's when we brought up like your friends, Morgan, that told him about us, and then he said that he remembered. He was like, "Oh, I think I remember that. I remember that." And
Now,
then he
was he
started
being
telling
polite?
us, yeah, maybe I don't know.
maybe.
He was very soft spoken. He was a very calm man.
Yeah.
can I paint a picture? First of all, he's wearing this casual shirt with a distressed blue denim jacket.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
was it
Like,
ever.
no.
I know.
Collar was fucking
Collar
popped.
popped.
Yeah, I
was
know.
gonna say
Ignorant.
a depressed, and it wasn't tight. It was a loose fitted, almost like dad.
That's right, Jerry
weathered-
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Pop that collar.
Weathered collar popped, and he had, he was thinner, but he had this gorgeous like curly hair, but it was like gray, salt and
It was like
pepper,
silver fox
beautiful.
gray, yeah.
And he had like
I
a little
could
bit of
die.
scruff. He had a beard going
I
on
could
too.
die.
Like,
Yeah.
he looked. We were all like, "Oh my god!"
I know.
And
I
was
know.
he
I know.
ever
Perfect.
willing
Yeah,
to
I know.
give us
I
a
couldn't
touch?
stop.
Yeah,
Like when
beautiful.
we
It was beautiful.
were standing in line for Michael Biehn and he was at his like signing table. I just like couldn't stop staring at him. Like I was like, oh my god, it's Jerry
I know,
Dandridge.
like-
Holy shit! Like I fucking love Fright Night so much, and like I even told him when we met him that the club scene brings me joy in life, and he was like, oh, thank you. And then anyway, but then he told us the story.
Yeah, he started talking. We were like, "We love your sweaters. We think the club scene is everything." And then he started talking about where he got the sweaters, and like he chose them himself. Apparently, he went to Fred Siegel.
Him and Tom Holland went shopping together to get the clothes for Fright Night. And he was like telling us about how he picked them out, and they were like trying to keep her cool.
I know.
And he's literally just like shooting the shit. Like, yeah, so we went out, me and Tom Holland, we bought these sweaters, and it was a beautiful day. And we're like, a mouth agape. Like, all three of us were like chipmunks, if you can picture, like our little feet, our little hands under our jaws.
Yeah.
Like, tell me more, sir, tell me more.
Well, speaking of twinkle in Megan's eyes, when she met fucking Michael Rooker.
Oh, no. The whole Michael Rooker situation was literally
awesome.
Surreal.
It was literally like
awesome.
The best possible scenario you could fucking ask for.
Yeah.
Megan was like, initially we came in and we went to the table and we're like, how much are all of the photo ops? And they were like, Michael Rooker, X amount of dollars. And Megan was like,
$100.
fuck that.
$100.
She was like,
I'm
fuck
sorry.
that. It's too much. And then afterwards we were like, no, you need to do this. Like,
You see him from afar, and it's, no.
When we were
right?
waiting in line for Michael Biehn, I think actually
I walked over.
Megan was like, I'm going to go and scope him out. And if you've listened to the podcast before, you know that Megan has a huge hard-on for Michael Rooker. We've talked about it. He's one of her man crushes, one of her boyfriends, podcast boyfriends. So she was like, I'm going in for a closer look. And you scoped him out. And then she was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to go. And she went and got the photo op. And you can continue because from here, this is like your magical experience.
I can talk about this for hours, bitches. Like, I could make this story into a novel probably if I broke it down into microseconds, because that's what it felt like. I'm telling you, I was tingling all over. So I walked back to get a photo op with him. Let me tell you, I was disappointed, and we've talked about this, because he had on his hat and his sunglasses.
Yeah.
You know what? At the end of the day, I have to put myself in his shoes and think, if that were me, and some fucking random ass girl was like, can you take off everything that makes you comfortable so that I get a fucking... No. You know what I mean? Like, there's still people... So anyways, I go in there kind of pissed at him without even meeting him yet. I'm like, fuck you with your glasses on. And he is just like, oh, you... I saw you fucking gawking at my table earlier. And I was like, good going. Like, you did. You saw me.
I saw you come over and like take a peek kind of thing.
Yeah. So then I take this picture with him and I'm like, I loved you in Slither and I loved you in The Dark Half and like Stephen King, like gosh, and like, oh, the makeup. And he's like, okay, like stand still. So I'm like taking this picture with him and it's beautiful and we look gorgeous and happy together. And so then, I leave and I got the feeling he wanted more though.
Yeah. Because all the people that were in line for him were there for Guardians of the Galaxy and Walking Dead.
And
he was the biggest like contemporary star there for sure.
And you know what? Thank you for reminding me because I did say that. I said 95% of the people here are here because of Guardians of the Galaxy and The Walking Dead. And I said, I'm here to worship you for Slither because I went in with the accent. I was like, Mr. Grant, when I went in, like, his wife in that movie, like I was a hot mess. So then afterwards, me and the girls are like walking around the convention, and I'm like, I got fucking coals under my feet the whole time. I'm like, I gotta, like, I gotta go.
You wanted to go there.
I walked away.
We turned around and we were like, where the fuck did Megan go?
Yeah, she was like, yeah, I'm out, bye. And we're like, okay. Yeah. And then we were walking around, and then all of a sudden, like, we turn around and Megan is just standing with Michael Rooker.
Arm in arm with him.
Like,
and they're
waving at us.
Beckoning
like,
like,
guys! Yeah, and then we were like, oh my god, she's over there fucking talking to Michael Rooker. So, like, we walk over, and he's like, let me tell ya, you ladies, like, you bunch of ladies, like, you all look great together. Like,
we had to force him. He told people to look away.
Oh my god, I know. His voice is so raspy. But he was so full of energy, though, compared to everyone else that we met. Like, we also met Jonathan Frakes, and like, he was so like.
Wait, I can't believe I forgot to tell them the part, listeners. Fucking get this. So, I'm walking up to his table and I'm standing there like a schoolgirl and I have the picture that I just took with him, like, to my breast. Like, and so he tells me that he goes like this, he beckons me, come hither, he says, come. So I come up and the fucking security lady tries to fucking pull a heavy. Tries to pull a heavy. She's like, no, puts her arms out. She's like, no, I'm sorry. Like, you can't. And he's like, excuse me, let her by. And I was literally, you never see me so happy. I was like, look out, bitch! Yeah. Michael Rooker just said I'm allowed to come by.
And literally like, there was 150 people in line, too.
Wait, and you know what? And like I said, when like the Witchfinger girls came up, he was so thrilled to be with us. And,
he was so fucking
hugging
energized.
all of us.
He was hugging all of us. And then we were like telling him that we were like, dude, so like, like, because I guess
cool as
obviously
fuck.
like you didn't mention it.
You gave him
our card. Yeah. Well,
Drunk.
because you didn't mention
No, I
the
forgot.
podcast, which is totally fine because
I
we
was
were
high
talking
on love.
about like everything else. We told him, we're like, dude, like Megan, like she loves you because she talks about you a lot on our podcast, and he was like, oh, you guys have a podcast, like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then like I gave him I had a card, and I was like, whatever. Like I don't expect like celebrities to listen to us. Like if I give them a card, like I'm just like, yeah, whatever,
But he took
here you
it.
go. But he took it, and he was like, I'm gonna listen. And then I was like, by the way, sir, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer is a fantastic movie. And he was like, that was my first movie. And I was like, it's a great movie.
And it
then
sounds like
was
we're
just
gushing,
funny.
it's 'cause we are.
And it's
Yeah.
funny because like I'm sure that he was so thrilled and happy to talk to us as a relief, because we were not there for Guardians of the Galaxy.
I don't
and
even know his
Walking
name
Dead.
in Guardians of the Galaxy. Blue guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
blue
the
guy.
blue dude.
Yeah,
And
but we were
it's
like,
funny.
Henry, Portrait of a Serial
Yeah.
Killer, fucking Slither. Like we're like, we are fans of those
Like
movies.
your art.
And
Yeah.
it's like I have a feeling he appreciated it. Like he was
He
so
talked
excited.
to me. He legitimately talked to me. I mean, it felt like so long, but it was realistically between the time I left you guys in the con and I
Yeah.
called you over after. He talked to me for that entire time about the makeup for Slither.
The makeup
because
is
he
fantastic.
was so excited about it. He was like, "Man, the only CGI they had is when the tentacles were actually coming out of his
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they were trying to reproduce, right? And they were
Yeah.
wiggling around." He's like, but it was only over CGI. He's like, everything was practical. That makake was so hard. Like, thank you for
And it's the
appreciating
same director as
how
Guardians of the
tough
Galaxy,
that-
which a lot of
right?
people always forget. James Gunn started out with Trauma, and a lot of people know him now because of Guardians of the Galaxy, but we all know him from Trauma. Like, he did Slither, which is such a fantastic fucking movie, man. I love that part when the cow gets taken by him, and the old guy says, that looks like something that came off my dick in the war. I fell off my dick in the war. Yeah, it was a fantastic weekend. It was
More
so
happened.
worth it. More happened.
Yeah, we met Jonathan Frakes too,
Frakes
which was
so
awesome.
fucking nice.
Like, we were-
He was like, "Is it fact or fiction?"
Yeah, no, he went above and beyond to actually like do something for a fan where they all have, you know, anybody that's been to a con knows they all have their like handler who takes the money, who like says, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
You're only allowed to do one thing. You're
Yeah.
only allowed to get
Like
one
you
thing
either
signed.
have to pay for an autograph or a picture, or pay for a combo of both. And Morgan had two things for him to sign, and it was a photo and your Alien Autopsy
Yeah,
VHS.
yeah.
And we asked the handler, and the handler was like, you have to pay double for two autographs. You're like,
Right?
seriously? The effort that it takes to just sign
Yeah.
something, like it's a millisecond, like, and it's like, really, it's like for $60 for one autograph, but you're telling me I have to pay $120, and then you're also telling me I have to pay the extra like $60 for photos. This is like a $200
It's
thing.
crazy.
I know. So when we were at his table, you got the photo autographed for your sister,
Yeah.
and then you pulled out the VHS, and you were like, I brought this, but yeah, like I can only do the photo.
Yeah.
And he just like, just give it to me. I'll
Yeah,
sign
he
it.
was
Like,
so
what does
cool.
he care? What does he care?
I know, he doesn't
like,
give
if
a
I was
shit.
a celebrity of that even if like any status, it doesn't matter. Like I don't give a shit. Like I'll fucking sign your tits. I don't
Totally.
give a fuck. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It was so awesome, and he was so like. What I loved about Jonathan Frakes is that he came off with this like hippie vibe.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
He had this like medallion, fucking this
beautiful.
necklace and shit.
more than being accommodating, he was almost genuinely more excited to speak with us. And to his like
I
I've
know,
watched
yeah,
him interact
I know.
with his other fans. Like he was more excited to speak with the fans in general than he was to have them speak to him. Like he
Yeah.
was like, "What are you about?" And like that's exciting. Like
Yeah.
you do that. Like
As
cool.
soon as we
Like,
approached
cool,
his table,
man.
like he was like, "Wow, the energy that you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
bring together."
Well-
and then he said, "I wonder what you guys are like when you're drunk or something."
Yeah, like, and
He's
it's
"You
like,
guys are
oh,
probably
wouldn't you
loud
like
when
to
you're
fucking
drunk."
know?
Yeah, we're like, come
Holy
drink
shit.
with us, Jonathan Frakes.
Oh my god, wouldn't that just be
Number
so
one.
fucking number one?
I know.
You'll always be my number one.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was super fucking awesome. Like, the whole experience was just fantastic. You know, meeting everyone that we met that week. Like, it was, I don't know, maybe it's just because, like, when we do our thing, we bring a special kind of energy as well that people can't deny. You know what I mean? Like, we
Yeah.
walked up to Jonathan Frakes' table, and I can imagine a lot of those celebrities are used to people being like, oh my god, like, speechless. You know,
Like we
like,
popped at him like, "Hey,
yeah, no, we
Hey,
went,
surprise,
we
bitch!
went up to the table and we were like, hey, and then we all went, hey, ah, screaming.
Yeah.
And he was just like, he did it too. He was like, "Hey, hi." And then it just all kind of like went from there, and we totally vibed off each other. It was super cool, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because we bring a special kind of energy to things as well.
Well, that's what him and Michael Rooker said to us.
Yeah.
So I believe them.
Yeah, like we literally brought like this witch finger energy to every single person, and we made like a memorable experience for ourselves. You know,
Zero regrets.
We made an impact.
Besides the food at Hooters, zero regrets. But
Hooters.
we also have to give a shout out to Devil's Latex that we saw.
Yes.
So we saw them. Their art looked
Sick
great.
Creek Incorporated as well.
Right. We saw a lot
friends,
of great
our Black Fawn
venues.
friends. Twisted Tees.
Where'd I get those buttons from? Suspect
Oh,
Video.
Suspect Video.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so there
it's
was-
just like it's a very I know I've said this before, it's like in our biography on our website, but that's just like what I love about the horror community and in general. Like it's a well preserved knit group of
I literally love those
very
people.
very nice
I do.
people, and it's like
It's like the metal community.
there's no animosity.
No.
Like everyone's friends, and like it's like as soon as we went there, like we went for the celebrities things first because we just wanted to make sure that we caught them at the tables and everything.
Yeah.
But then when we were done taking the photo ops and stuff, we were like in the horror section, and like it's so much fun. It's like family, you know what I mean? Like,
was
and
gonna
that's
say-
that's the vibe.
They
that
pump
Shock
us up,
Stock
we
offers.
pump them up.
Totally.
Like,
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah.
like gas each other up. Like in the horror community, I feel like it is such a unless you're doing movies like, and I'm sorry to say it, but go fuck yourself, The Conjuring and shit like that, who are like #1 in the box office.
Yeah.
The Conjuring. When you're trying to do not real horror, but
Like
independent horror, you really have to support each other. And when someone
Everyone
succeeds,
supports
I think it's
everyone, yeah.
super important not to be like, oh, they succeeded. To be like, bitch, did you see how much my friend succeeded? Like, push,
Yeah.
push, push,
I
push,
know.
push.
Yeah, it's
We all push each other, and I
it's-
think that's great.
Yeah.
we're getting to the point now where a lot more people are aware of the podcast, and
Yep.
we're meeting so many people.
Amazing
like
people.
we're making new friends, and like we appreciate everyone.
How many
who
of you
shares.
listeners have we talked to
Seriously,
personally online?
we just love
Yeah.
everyone that
So
listens
many
to
of
us,
you.
and like everyone who supports us, people who buy our shirts and like post pictures of themselves wearing the shirts, and
Unreal.
like the Shock Stock episode, the live one that we did before this episode was such a success that we're already so excited for next year. And many people on our Instagram, like they said that they were gonna come for next year.
Yeah.
And like we're gonna start doing more live shows. Like we really want to start doing more live shows because it was such a wonderful experience, and the energy was just so positive. And we're definitely excited, and like I know lots of people have been commenting and saying that we should do Monster Palooza in LA and like Texas Frightmare and this and that. So like, you know, thank you very much for the support.
I want to strive to be like some of the celebrities we saw on that weekend. And I'm not saying we're anywhere, you know, like I'm a fucking celebrity. But if any of you fans want us, like, want to reach out, I feel like we've responded to almost every single person who's reached out to us. Like, I don't ever want to be a fucking bitch to anyone. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm fucking nobody. If you guys want to tell us,
If you guys want us to come down, like,
Right?
fucking,
Like,
like just tell
we'll
your
sleep on your
convention
couch.
people.
I mean,
we literally will. Yeah, just like tell your organizers to request us and fucking get us down. Like,
we're fucking ready.
we're
we
so
are.
excited.
We love
like,
this.
This is just something that we started for like shits and giggles, and like I mean, there's many podcasts that exist in the world, and we were like, hey, we're just like some friends that get together and drink and watch like bad movies and 80s horror and this and that. You know, let's record ourselves and put us on the internet, see what happens, and like we're just making so many friends, and I'm just like I'm into it. I love it.
It's been overwhelming, and we're super stoked, and we're really
Makes me
stoked for the
happy.
future.
I love
I love it. It's like I know
love
I've
you.
said this before in previous episodes, but I just love that my homework is like doing research for
Watching
the next
movies.
episode. And it's like, yes, my research entails looking shit up on the internet,
Right?
like while I'm watching movies of the directors and this and that. And it's like this is what I do regularly.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
we're super pumped. Niagara Comic Con really like solidified our joy in what we do, and we just want to keep doing it. So
yeah. And we're there's a
Fuck
few
it.
more conventions coming up. Like there's Horrorama that happens in Toronto. There's the Niagara Falls Frightmare on the Falls.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was called, but there's that one in October. So we're excited for like all these new conventions going on and stuff like that. But yeah.
and the VHS Fest that we're
Oh
going
yeah,
to
we're going
too.
to VHS. So me and Morgan are going to VHS Fest in Pennsylvania at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater. So that's going to be fun. Get to like hang out with Lunch Meat VHS
VHS.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that we're going to get a lot of shout outs after this episode saying that. I'm going to guess that some of you people out there in US of A are going to be meeting our witches.
I know.
I guarantee you at this VHS fest.
Come say hi.
There's
We'll
gonna
be
be
the
one or
loudest and
two.
drunkest people there. I swear to God.
We'll buy all the VHS.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready. I'm fucking ready.
Yeah,
I don't
for sure.
want to downplay though our witch over here who did a Rockin' Con.
Oh yeah, that was another
Rockin'
fucking
Con
fun
was
thing.
another convention that we attended recently. Rockin' Con is the first ever convention that is organized by the same guys, our friends, who do Shock Stock here in London, Ontario. And boy, was that a fun weekend!
That was so
Wow,
God.
here comes Grandma Yaz. Well, I'll tell you, kid. Boy, was that ever fun.
I know, right?
Oh
And
my
that
God.
me actually there was the complete opposite demeanor.
Oh, God.
I was a mess.
But,
Megan
like-
had to take care of me and make sure that I got home. But Morgan
She looks
sang
beautiful. With Dee Snider.
with Dee Snider.
Dude, what a
That was
fucking
fun.
awesome
Talk about it.
time. Okay, so Rockin' Con has like a couple different elements. One element is that it's like a convention, so you go and you meet Peter Criss from Kiss, or you go and meet Dee Snider, you go and meet fucking Lita Ford from the Runaways, and also a solo artist, and tons of other bands. It was an outlet for local bands as well. So there's like the con portion during the day, and then there was a couple of concerts at night. On Friday was sort of the opening party where a bunch of our friends played, and then Saturday was like the after party where Dee Snider performed, Lita Ford, and a bunch of local people, and they asked me to do it as well. And I didn't want to be part of the con per se, because to me, I just have a weird thing where it's like I don't think I'm that like special of a person, and the stuff that I do, like
You're
aside
special.
from thanks guys,
We think
the
you're
stuff that I do, like
special.
musically
But Morgan,
outside of the
I wouldn't
podcast-
want to sit at a motherfucking booth
you know
for
what?
8
I've done
hours.
that
Like
shit.
we do it together as
Yeah.
a threesome, and I have the most fun. But bitch, I wouldn't want to just do it.
by myself.
Like,
no, that sucks. Like Shock Stock is fun because like all you do is drink all day,
That's
and
right.
like there's like
That's
tons of party vibe and whatever. But yeah, like so I was like, you know what? I'm totally down to perform. So that the performance night was awesome. I sang
Sang some Lover Boy.
I sang a bunch of songs. I picked like three of my favorite like Canadian songs, I guess, from the 80s to sort of go with the vibe. And I sang some Lee Aaron and some Colin James and some Lover Boy.
And
that
we're
was
going to
fucking
see
cool.
Lover Boy in a
I
few
know, and
weeks,
you
too.
fucking the summer is so
can't
busy.
wait.
So busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fucking super awesome. I was really nervous, and then as soon as I started singing, I felt better. And then
Then we got really fucking hammered.
Oh my God, yeah. Like Dee Snider fucking performed, and he like we were all up on stage afterwards and like singing with him and shit, and that was fucking cool. Then it was like, okay, cool, after party. Let's do it. The after party, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was where it started to get a little bit out of control. I literally was like maybe 3/4 of the way home, and I couldn't find you guys. I was like,
We were like literally just sitting
I
on
know.
the couch.
I was like, where did everybody go? And so I like looked around. I was like, I don't see anybody. So Ben and I were just like, okay, we'll go home. And then literally, like, we were turning onto like my street, and Yasmina texted me and was like, where are you? And I was like, are you still at the
Why are
venue?
you turning Friday night?
On
No,
Saturday.
Saturday.
No, I'm talking about like before we even left the venue. Like I left the venue and I was almost home, and Yasmin was like, "Where are you?" And then I was like, "I have to go back." And then
You
and
came
then
back
we fucking
epically.
I made her come back. Yeah.
Epically. I didn't
It
know
was
you were
so
gone
epic.
for life.
Well, because you got there a little late.
Oh, bitch. People, please. The reason you always see these pictures of my friends having fabulous, gorgeous, pretty times.
gorgeous and pretty time.
Gorgeous, pretty times. I motherfucking work 3 to 11 every Saturday, and some nights, you want to know something, I'm just not feeling it. However, this night,
It's very
did
special.
I not take my ass downtown? And I'll tell you something. I left my car God knows where. I had to get Jamie to drive me home, my boyfriend to drive me back downtown the next day. We had to go like this. I am doing a weaving motion with my finger through the streets looking for my vehicle where I parked it.
I
on
don't
which
remember.
street. Where's my car? And I literally at one point was like, that's it. Bitch got stolen.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know how much money you're going to get for that? And we're like, fuck, there it is.
Shit.
That's funny.
Oh man, but yeah, those dudes like Jake, James, the guys from Vagrancy that like put on Shock Stock and everything, like those guys are wild. They party hard. Shock Stock is like the big like horror outlet, but like it was still.
And you guys
the
definitely
same.
need to come to Shock Stock next year.
Yes.
Yeah, we're obviously a really fun time. So tell all your fucking conventions to
say.
request us.
This just seemed like the biggest Dear Diary moment of the past 20 minutes of my
Oh,
life.
it's been 30.
Dear fans.
Literally.
La 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 la. I got drunk. The end.
Okay, well then moving on to
So anyways, Night of the
Let's
Creeps.
move on to Night of the Creeps. Okay, so we're
Holy fuck.
not much has happened so far. However, we did see Tom Atkins sitting on the beach drinking out of a coconut, and
His triangle mustache.
I love that still, and like that gif of him sitting on the beach. Like,
He's
such a
fucking
badass.
amazing. Oh my
I love
god.
him.
The least sexy frontman ever. Like,
Yeah.
why was he banging everyone in Halloween
some
3?
reason,
That's what I
He
want
He
to
doesn't
know.
smile, it's hot.
Yeah, I
It's
guess.
like, I
His
don't know.
mustache.
It's for some reason, maybe taste was different in the 80s, but he
Yeah,
was
for
always
sure.
cast in horror movies in the 80s as like the stud.
Yeah.
But I just don't like, no.
'Cause I think in the
I don't think
80s
he's not attractive.
Power was still sexy, and he looks like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he's
oh,
a
for
very
you know
sure.
what I
powerful
mean?
actor.
Yeah.
And I think that he aged well, though. I think he looks
Yeah.
better now than he did in the 80s.
Yeah.
But, like, even, like, the part in The Fog when he's banging Jamie Lee Curtis, like, I'm like, ew. But I love him, though. I love him at the same time. So, okay, Night of the Creeps came out in 1987. It was directed and written by Fred Decker. And this is actually funny that we're doing this movie right now because I am re-watching Tales from the Crypt, and I just watched the episode that Fred Decker directed.
Coincidentally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No!
That's
And
awesome.
it was the one that he did for Tales from the Crypt was the one with Terry Hatcher, and she's like a model, and the photographer falls in love with her, but then her ex-boyfriend kills him, and then he comes back from the dead.
Of course he does.
And everything. Zombies. So it's good. Zombies.
Period.
It's good. Yeah. So Fred Decker, many know him from directing Monster Squad, and that's
Not me,
I know,
though.
Megan's sass almost came out there. Yeah.
I know, she's
okay.
like-
So another. Yeah. You,
I heard
you
your
inhaled
breath.
and your eyes shut. Morgan has never seen Monster Squad, so I'm not gonna be mad because I was the guy who never watched Princess Bride as a kid, but Monster Squad is one of those movies that when you watched as a kid that you will forever love for eternity. So I don't feel that way for Princess Bride, so I can't get mad at you for not watching
True.
Monster Squad.
It was
And you
just
may
never
watch
on my
it and you
radar.
may not enjoy it, like
Yes, you
as
will.
an adult.
It is
is-
one
yes,
of
you
the
will.
best
Like, it is.
werewolf
It's good.
transformations
Oh, I love that.
ever.
And like
I'm a fan
it's,
of that.
it's basically like it's kind of like it has like a Goonies vibe, but horror.
Yeah.
Universal Monsters.
themed.
Yeah.
Universal
like
Monsters.
it's every monster. It's like there's the creature from Black Lagoon, there's the werewolf, there's
Awesome.
the vampire is like the head guy,
mummy.
and what's the guy's
dig
name
it.
with the leather jacket? He's
Oh, I don't fucking know, but he's
he's
hot
Megan's
as
boyfriend.
shit. Holy
Yeah,
fuck,
I
man. And he
know.
like goes peeping on that girl, and that's when Frankenstein goes, bogus.
and the
Oh,
Wolfman
fuck.
has nards. That's a good scene too.
It does
But yeah,
nards,
it's a
brilliant.
fun. It's a kids movie, but it's fun. It's great.
It's kind of. Here's the thing. I was dating a guy with a kid not too long ago, and I said, you should watch. It was Halloween. I said, Ernest Scared Stupid and Monster Squad. He literally the next day was like, fuck you twice, because my kid was screaming. I'm like, okay, our
I
kid's
have an
pussies,
explanation for
Right.
that,
or-
though. I have an explanation for that. It's because kids' movies when we were kids in the 80s
Were more-
were fucking
they prepped us.
terrifying.
They
prepped
us.
The way they
Oh,
are
Return
now.
of Return to Oz.
Return
or
to
whatever.
Oz.
That shit is messed up. That's
Yeah.
just so messed up.
No, honestly, like I was actually talking to somebody on Instagram recently about this, and like when you watch the movies that are made for kids now, they're all animated, and they're not like even like
Super
the like
cute.
Paranorman. Like I loved Paranorman. Like I loved Coraline,
But super
but
cute.
they're animated. They're still cute. When we were kids, we got to watch fucking a queen replace her head and Return
remember
to Oz,
Neverending Story 2? Neverending
yeah, we
Story
talked about that in
2?
an episode once. I know, right? Like movies that were made for kids when we were kids were terrifying.
Way more disturbing.
Yeah, so
Way
I
more
do
disturbing.
get that. But yeah, no, you should at least watch it once in your life. Like,
I
just-
should. I
We
definitely will
digress.
check it out.
yeah, but he wrote it with Shane Black. And this is actually cute because they used to live together. I find that adorable.
Stop.
I love when I find out when actors didn't Robert Downey Jr. and somebody else used to live together, like Rob Lowe. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Probably those drug
oh.
addicts. One
Oh,
of them.
yeah,
or
yeah.
like- oh, and Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson are best friends. Like,
Yeah, I
from the
love
fuck
that.
on.
All right,
Oh
all
my
right,
God.
all right.
Yeah.
Shane Black, who played Hawkins in the first Predator,
Yeah.
is also the director of the new Predator, and the new Predator was co-written by Fred Decker.
Yeah, so they sort
I
of
love
teamed
that
back
they're-
up again.
I love that they're still friends. Like it's like I love these groups of writers, producers, and directors that have maintained their friendship and their careers, like Brian Usna and Stuart Gordon, and then there's like Shane Black and Fred Dekker, you know, like, and the product is like, you know what to expect. However, I'm not really sure what to expect with the new Predator.
I don't know.
I love Predator. I love Predator 2. Even Predators with Adrian Brody.
Yep.
I loved it. Except for what's his name's character? I can't remember. From The Matrix. Why can't I think of his name?
Oh, Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne. His character, I was like, whatever. But I watched the trailer for the new Predator, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
Well, here's the thing. You know what? I get that the producers of the new Predator probably were like, let's take it back to its origins with Fred Dekker and Shane Black to, like, capture that old kind of feel and have them right. But at the same time, they still need to have that new age blockbuster feel to it, and it's too clean. You know, it seems like it's too.
Here's what I want to
big.
see. And every episode, I feel like I've talked about CGI because I'm a huge hater. Now, even the original Predator obviously had CGI. You had to make that iridescent, see-through form of Predator when he was. Do you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Well,
What I want is for them to use the same technology that they did in the 80s, the late 80s, or whatever.
Well, because I guess the trailer didn't really show that much of that.
Right, but that's my fear.
Of the practical
That's
effects and all
always
that.
my
I
fear,
know.
though, because coming into new movies where they have so many opportunities to be like, bitch, this is Predator. Do you know how much CGI we can use to make this in their minds, quote unquote, look real cool?
That it
I want
doesn't
them to
fully
use the
take place
same.
in the city. Like what I
I
love
hate
about
city movies. Jungle it up.
But Predator 2 takes place in the city, and I still
not
like
bad.
it. But it's not. It still doesn't have the same feeling as the first one with Arnold.
If they had
but I hope
released
there are
the second
some
one
jungle.
first, it wouldn't have been as successful
No.
as. Do you know what I mean?
And that's why I like Predators a lot, because it takes place on another planet, and that's what I like.
But it's back
about
in the
it.
forest, right?
Yeah.
That's the movie that I've tried to watch 3 times, and I've fallen asleep every single time.
It's
but
great. It's great.
I get to a certain point, and it's like, I don't know, maybe I'm just a tired person, but it kind of tries to recapture that first movie vibe where they're in the forest, even if it's on another planet, like it's still a jungle vibe, which is I guess
We'll
where
see.
the Predator's in
I
element.
don't
We'll see.
go to the movies often. I typically wait to rent new movies because I don't like going to the theaters that much, but I will go see the new Predator in theaters because I'm anticipating my judgment. I just want to see it just to see what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
We have talked about Fred Dekker before, obviously because he also was
wrote
involved
House.
with House.
Yeah, he wrote House.
Yeah, and that was actually
it was like
his
the first thing.
Yeah, it was his first big success in 1986. Apparently, he
Yeah.
had written a 15-page treatment that was expanded into the full screenplay by writer Ethan Wiley for what would go on to become House.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be part of an anthology or something, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and it actually, House came out the same year as Night of the Creeps, so he was pretty busy around then. And also, he wrote 5 Tales from the Crypt episodes.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten to the other ones yet, but I did just recently watch the one that he directed. And he also did RoboCop 3.
Mm-hmm. 3.
That's my least favorite one.
I
It's
ain't
not-
ever seen it.
It's bad. It's bad.
seen it.
No. But he co-wrote it with Frank Miller, which is pretty cool. Which is the guy who wrote Sin City.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, but like, where is it? Where is this RoboCop? Still like city? Like, what's I don't know.
They don't put it on like it's not like Leprechauns in space or anything. They don't like
right. Like, where are we?
Yeah,
I know, right? Yeah.
What setting are we in? But I find Fred Dekker to be kind of interesting because like he's worked on a lot of like kind of campy-ish kind of movies. Like House also kind of has that like almost kind of silly horror
it does.
feel,
and it has a lot of different elements involved in it. There's zombies. There's like that fat lady.
like Goblin Lady kind of things, like demons.
George
I guess they
Wendt.
are, but. He's also like a Hollywood script doctor, which I find to be interesting. So like a lot of producers and like movie houses will like take their script and it's like, yeah, it just doesn't have it, and they'll give it to Fred Dekker, and then he like
polishes
scrubs
the
it.
shit.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah,
I didn't know that.
so he has a lot of uncredited contributions, but like stuff like Titan AE, Lethal Weapon 4, Demolition Man, he fucking
Demolition Man, I
that
saw
was
that shit.
such a
Fucking
garbage.
right.
It's such a garbage movie, but
Fucking
Murder,
apparently
death, kill. Murder, death, kill.
such a mess. But I guess he actually like scripted it to actually make it like kind of presentable.
I
Even
think
it's
it
still
did well,
garbage.
though.
Yeah,
But
it
you know
did.
what?
I think it did well.
For all of our listeners and you guys as well, you should really listen to the How Did This Get Made episode on Demolition
Oh,
Man.
God.
It's live and it's like so fucking well. I mean, every episode is funny, but they did Demolition Man live and it's like it's brilliant. It's hilarious. You should listen to it.
Yeah, well, I watched that movie actually not even that long ago, maybe a month ago. I bought like one of those like $5 like 4 Stallone movies in one DVD thing because I wanted Over the Top.
Yeah.
And yeah, for like $5 Over the Top is totally worth it, obviously. But then it came with all these other fucking terrible movies, and I did watch Demolition Man. Not that great.
Are you saying that was the first time that you've seen it?
No, I have seen it
okay.
back, but like I saw it when it came out.
It's no
when I was a
over the
kid.
top. Like,
Because
No, of course.
it was like super hip for when it came out.
Yeah.
It was like a hip.
It was
But you know what? Oh my god, such a fucking racist movie.
It's
All
so
the
racist.
shit that
There's
he
so-
says, Wesley Snipes
There's so much
says, like,
racism in that movie. It's
Yeah, I know, right?
fucked.
And it's just like nonchalant racism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Like, I'm gonna sprinkle this
what?
racism
That's
here.
what Jason Mantzoukas talks about in the How Did This Get Made episode. Like, he's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like you could not get away with that kind of stuff
Yeah.
now, for sure.
Well, this is kind of cool. Fred Dekker and Shane Black wrote a script together called Shadow Company before Shane wrote Lethal Weapon. And this is actually kind of cool. It never got made. It's about zombie soldiers that invade a town on Christmas night. And it was supposed to be directed by John Carpenter and starring Kurt Russell.
Fuck off!
So it was never made. It was never made, but the script is online. Apparently, like they just put it up for fun, and like you can read it.
That's
and
fucking
like there's
awesome.
fans that out there
Should've been
that
done.
they just love it, and they still demand that movie to be made.
Oh, I love Kurt Russell so much.
Yeah,
he's a fucking
he's a babe.
He's a straight
Yeah.
up babe.
All right, well, so it's unfortunate. It's really weird that Night of the Creeps didn't do well because even though a lot of movies that we do on this podcast that we say, you know, was a box office like flop because of this and that and marketing and money, but this one is like surprising to me because like it's among a lot of great 80s movies that came out that did well. Like I think it's just as good as all of the other 80s movies that did well at the box office. It's like I don't understand why it didn't do well. But the budget was $5 million and the box office was just under 600,000.
No.
Yeah, they lost a lot of money on this movie. It did not do well at all. It only showed in 70 theaters. But it later became a cult favorite. And the movie was aimed to be an homage to B movies from the 50s and 60s. Very obvious in the very first like 10 minutes where it's in the 50s and it's all black and white, which I love. I love at the beginning of this movie when everything is black and white, but the credits are still colored.
Yeah,
I love
it's
it. It's
fun.
like that Misfits font, like the neon colors over the top of the black and white, like the style of that looks very, very great. And Fred originally actually wanted to shoot the whole movie in black and white.
Fascinating.
But I'm glad that he
they didn't.
didn't. I'm glad that he didn't.
Yeah.
But all the characters in this movie are homages to other horror directors as well. And there was an unofficial sequel from 2007. It's really weird. It has nothing to do with this one.
I saw some of that too.
It's called Night of the Creeps 2, Zombie Town, in
Zombie
Germany,
Town.
but it's just called Zombie Town in North America. It's got absolutely nothing to do with this. I don't know why I even included it in my notes. Like, just to let you guys know.
Yeah,
I looked it up and I was like, what the fuck is this garbage?
It said that it was marketed in only some regions as a sequel. So in Germany, it's definitely marketed as a sequel, but here it's just called
why?
Zombie Town.
Right.
But it says it really only has the same elements like the slugs, the like alien slugs that like infect the people, and that's really it. But other than that, it didn't look like it had anything to do with it. And it's like a newer movie, so it's like
Why? That's a
of
stretch.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
from
it's a stretch.
2007.
yeah. Well, a lot of people do that. It seems like, you know, like Italy, like their
Is it just
horror.
to use the name to get more attention?
Yeah, that's pretty much like Italy's horror like production companies and stuff. They always do that. Like they package something as a sequel.
Yeah.
That really has nothing to do with the actual movie, but they just do it because the name will sell some tickets. And maybe
Bunch
Germany
of liars.
Yeah, fuckers.
Yeah. And I mean, how much, like, wealth or benefit are the people who making this movie actually getting when people say, oh, but it's a cult following?
Is it like...
Yeah,
are
it
they
did
just
poorly
like
in the cinema, but
Yeah.
it's a cult. Yeah, but...
Are they just lacking that much confidence in their movie, though? You know what I mean? That they would need to use the name to get attention for it? Maybe you shouldn't be making movies.
Or maybe it's out of their hands.
My logical brain says, doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
Maybe it's a PR thing. Maybe it's out of their hands, and PR is going,
Yeah, you're
this
right.
is how we're going to do
What
it.
do I know?
Like,
Yeah,
just
you're
make the
right.
fucking movie.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is how we're going to do it.
Also,
Somebody in the production company says, like, okay, you should market it like this because the slug element is the same
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Another thing that we forgot to mention, another thing that has kept us busy recently, speaking of, I don't know, we did a fabulous interview
Yeah.
with our friend Onyx the Fortuitous.
Oh my god. What a fun
Was
interview.
so much fun. Hopefully you guys watched it because that was a lot of fun filming it. Like
Yeah.
that was hilarious.
So much
So
fun.
we want to thank Onyx for having us on his show. It was a Friday Faves and it was posted a couple weeks ago. So check it out. You can check it out on YouTube and
Yep.
we posted the link on our Instagram as well. But that was really fun as well. It's all Stephen King themed as well. So yeah. But I want to talk about Tom Atkins.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
so Tom Atkins, one of our very early episodes was Halloween 3. I believe that was our first Halloween episode. One of the best, actually probably second to the first one is like the best Halloween.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, Halloween 3, fantastic movie. You get your face turned into bugs and snakes.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
I like it because it's so different. I know it, like,
it's great. It's a great story. It's awesome.
Yeah.
it's got like a lot of people are like, yeah, it doesn't have Michael Myers in it, and that's why it bombed in the first place. But as a standalone movie in Halloween
Genre of Halloween,
Yeah.
trick-or-treating,
it's
Halloween,
fucking
kids
great.
in costumes. Yeah.
It's one of my
Yeah.
favorites. It absolutely is.
Yeah, it's awesome. The Fog.
So
I
good.
talked about it earlier. But you
Amazing.
know what? I think that The Fog is probably one of my favorite John Carpenter movies. I have always loved that movie. I feel like it kind of slipped under the radar.
Yeah, it did.
It's such a good nighttime movie.
Yeah.
Like when you're like 2 hours before you go to bed, you turn the lights off. When you only
Yeah,
have one
yeah,
glowing
yeah,
lamp.
yeah.
It's so good. Like I love that movie. The atmosphere.
I was gonna say, it's atmospheric.
Good
yeah.
atmosphere. It's very spooky and just like
Quiet.
yes,
It's a very
I
quiet
know.
movie.
Actually, that's what I really like about it is that it's quiet because
Yeah.
that's more eerie to me
Yeah.
than like loud bangs that you make you jump.
Jump
Yeah.
scares, yeah. A lot of people
I
rely
do
on
love
that.
movie, and it's pretty too. Like when the fog actually does
Yeah.
roll in from the bay, on the bay, it's gorgeous. So Tom Atkins is also in Escape from New York
Awesome.
with
Our boyfriend Kurt Russell.
Snake Plissken.
Yeah.
That's also another amazing John Carpenter movie. So he's obviously worked with him a lot. Okay, here's one thing that I want to say about the whole like Tom Atkins being like, you know, the stud of the '80s when really he's just. Ugh. But I find him even like less attractive without a mustache. There's something wrong about that.
No.
So in Creep
No.
Show, he's the father and like the in between segments in
Yeah.
Creep
Yeah.
Show,
Yeah.
and like it's. Well, I don't know if I like Tom Atkins without a mustache. I can't. I'm not into it.
Sometimes
like,
you just get used to somebody with
a
like
mustache, yeah, and
Yeah.
then they shave it, and you're like,
and you're like,
"Who
ooh, that
are
upper lip,
you?"
ew,
Yeah,
ew.
yeah. You
Yeah.
see a whole section of their face that you didn't know existed.
Yeah,
Right?
no, it's
Yeah.
really weird. Tom Atkins in Creep Show is just, it's unsettling for
Yeah.
me. It's very unsettling. But he did a fantastic job. Like, he's really good at acting like an asshole.
Yeah,
Like,
for
and
sure.
he's like kind of like a dick in Night of the Creeps as well.
Yeah,
So he's also in Lethal Weapon.
which is awesome.
I have actually only seen Lethal Weapon like maybe 3 times. Like I never really was a huge fan of it. Like when it comes to like the 80s like action movies, like I was more into Die Hard.
Yeah, but it's kind of up there with Die Hard. Like it has, it's
I
that
think
same.
it's-
I mean,
I don't think it's as good as Die
well,
Hard
no,
at
it's
all.
not as good, but it's like in that same element, I
Yeah.
guess. Like so, you could kind of put them together because it
Yeah.
was a huge blockbuster.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's whatever, Mel Gibson.
Yeah. Tom Atkins is also in Maniac Cop.
Yeah.
He's also in My Bloody Valentine remake, which was actually good.
It was so good.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, when it actually when remakes are actually good, I applaud them because I hate a lot of remakes, and that one was fucking great. It was awesome, and my boyfriend Dean is in it, so that's not.
Oh
too
yeah,
bad.
it's not too shabby.
Supernatural.
A boy, oing.
Insert boner noise.
I know, right? Fuck, that guy's too hot. I know, I love the slugs in the bathroom, man. It's awesome. The slugs are very, very reminiscent of Slither.
And this house is very reminiscent of French Prince of Bel-Air. Wow, could I have said that?
That's awesome.
It sounds like you said the
awesome.
French Prince of
Yeah.
French Prince
I was like, oh, what
Bel-Air.
movie is that you're talking about? That's funny. But you know what's also awesome about this movie and Tom Atkins is that this was his favorite role. His favorite movie that
love
Tom
hearing
Atkins
that.
has done was this
Ow.
movie. He said that the whole the whole experience with filming this movie
Was
the
fucking
most
awesome.
fun out of any movie that he's done, which is awesome. He does theater.
Okay.
Yeah, he
That's where he
Okay.
theater.
I want to see him in
In
that motherfucking
the
costume that motherfucking George puts on. That like poofy like knight.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like he's like King Arthur. I want to
Yeah,
see
I
him
know.
Tom
That would be
Atkins
adorable.
in a theater like a Shakespeare
I
play.
know. Well, yeah, he does Macbeth.
No, he does.
Yes, he does.
No,
Yes,
he does.
Yes, he in Pittsburgh, and he's also in the Christmas Carol as well.
No.
Yeah, he
Okay.
does theater in Pittsburgh.
That's what I want.
Yeah, and that's where he got his start. Like, apparently he didn't
love that he
even
still
want to be
does
an actor.
it.
Yeah, he didn't even want to be an actor, and he was going to go work in his family steel mill.
Yeah.
And he just
he
assumed
would.
that that's what he was going to do, and then he went into the Navy, apparently. And then noticed that the officers lived great, but there was only because they had gone to college. So after he left the Navy, he signed up for college, where he met a girl who was involved in a theater group, and that's how he ended up getting involved in theater, like early on.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, his first movie role was in a movie called The Detective, and fucking Frank Sinatra is in it.
Yeah, he's like
was-
the star.
The first movie that he was in was a movie with Frank Sinatra.
Isn't
like,
that crazy?
That's fucking crazy. And he said that he was great to work with.
Frank
Which is-
Sinatra's a gem.
Cause yeah,
He was a motherfucker.
He was a gem. He was a womanizer and he was a bit of a racist, but fuck, was he a gem?
Oh yeah.
that is a fact. Tom was married to Garn Stevens, who is actually the woman in Halloween 3
Can
that
we
gets
repeat-
the bugs in the hotel
Can we repeat
room.
her name, please?
Her name is Garn Stevens.
Can we spell that, please?
Garn.
Oh.
So it's like barn,
What
but with
woman
the G.
birthed a baby from her vagina, held it in her arms, and said, I shall
look like a
name you
garn."
Garn,
How you gone?
and you shall be gone.
Maybe
But
it's
she's the
short for
woman in the
something.
hotel room in Halloween 3
Yeah.
that gets the fucking snakes and bugs out of
Yeah.
her face. And Tom Atkins was married to her at that point. And this is adorable. Tom Atkins is a huge Vincent Price fan and got to meet him. I love that because I love Vincent Price, so I thought that was pretty cute. Like, yeah, like, okay, he's an ugly, you know, like 80s actor. Like, he's adorable as an old man, but I love him though. Like, he's so
Yeah.
lovable. Like, he's like a non-attractive, adorable kind
totally.
of man. Like, he's so. I would love to meet him. Like, it would
Absolutely.
Be, I just want to hug him. I would totally fucking hug the shit out
I
of
would
Tom
hug
Atkins.
the shit out of.
Yeah, I would hug the shit out of Tom Atkins.
Oh fuck.
Don't make fun of me.
Nope.
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 But yeah, what else do we have here? Okay, so so Jason Lively is the main actor.
There
in
he is
Night of
on
the
screen
Creeps.
right now.
He is his sister is Blake Lively.
Okay, I was wondering.
Yeah.
That's not a fact.
No,
No,
it is.
Okay, so the Lively family is. I think he's actually only his. That's only his half sister, because the Lively family apparently
It's
is
huge.
like an acting like dynasty.
Because this
Yeah,
movie was
he
released
stopped
in
acting,
'87,
but-
and he's like gotta be 18 in this
Yeah,
movie,
so
19,
he's
so-
much older than her. So
Yeah.
he's actually the stepson of Ernie Lively, who was in
is
the
in
Dukes of Hazzard,
lots of movies.
and Shocker,
He
Hard
was
to
in-
Kill, Sleepwalkers.
Showdown in Little Tokyo,
Yep.
X-Files, like, and his I'm pretty sure Blake is his full sister.
Is
Because,
it?
Yeah, she is. Because he has a half-sister, and her name is Lori, and she was also in Night of the Creeps, but she's uncredited, but she was also in Deep Space Nine, Melrose Place, ER, and he has another half-sister named Robin, who was in, okay, Megan, do you remember this, like, 80s girly movie, Teen Witch? Do you remember that movie?
Stop.
Yeah, she's in Teen
Yep.
Witch. She's in Twin Peaks. She's in Knight Rider. Doogie Howser.
whoa.
She's also in an X-Files
This family
episode.
is like the
It's all-
Rockefeller
it is.
family.
It's like
It
the
is,
Baldwins. It's the Baldwins basically. She was also in Quantum Leap, and he also has another. This is it. Half brother named Eric, and Eric was in American Pie and Full House and 24 with Keepa.
Because here's the thing about Blake Lively. Usually I'm like, oh yeah, she's hot. Blake Lively is like absolutely stunning, and I'm not even jealous. I
She's
just
married
love
to
her
Ryan
for it.
Reynolds.
Stop.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got that Canadian
Right?
bacon
I
between
know,
your legs,
you
bitch. You
motherfucker.
better be fucking looking good all the time. Come on.
Let it fry up and sizzle in your pussy.
Sizzle that pussy!
That Canadian bacon.
Yeah, no, the whole family, they're all a family of actors. But yeah, no, Blake is his full sister, and then he's got like the two half sisters and one half brother. But he doesn't act anymore. But he actually, fun fact about Night of the Creeps, he auditioned for both roles of Chris and JC, so he ended
Cool.
up getting that role. But
Better safe than sorry.
yeah, the
Yeah.
first thing that he acted in was the Dukes of Hazzard pilot when he was
Nice.
10 years old. Because I was going to say, like, that, he must have been obviously really young because Dukes of Hazzard, like, the pilot, not
Yeah.
even, like, the
Yeah.
actual first episode. He was also the son in National Lampoon's European Vacation. That's the
Oh
one
my
that,
God!
Yeah, I know. That's actually the one that I've seen the least.
I love that
to be
one.
honest.
It's a good one.
I've seen Vegas a few times, but obviously Christmas Vacation
Everybody's
is the one.
seen that shit.
And just the regular Vacation is the one that I've seen
European,
like
they're
a lot.
so
I should rewatch
funny.
European. But yeah, he's the boy, the
Yeah,
little
he
boy
is.
Yep.
in
Yeah.
European Vacation.
Also, he's in Ghost Chase.
I know. Okay, so Ghost Chase. Me
Let's
and
talk
Morgan
about
were
Ghost
actually
Chase.
like talking about Ghost Chase because Jill Whitlow, who is the main female role in Night of the Creeps, they're both in it together.
Yeah.
And this is funny that I didn't know this up until I started doing my research for this episode. But Ghost Chase is one of those movies that I watched when I was a kid that like resonated with me for life. And I never owned it. And then I bought it on VHS a few years ago and I watched it again and I shut it off halfway through. I was like, I couldn't get through it. It's very it is kind of childish. It's like this grandfather clock that, like, at the stroke of midnight, this weird grandpa zombie ghost thing comes out of it. That's all I really remember, but I have it still, so I was actually thinking of giving it another shot before we recorded this episode, but I was like, am I in the mood to watch this?
Get good
I
and
don't
drunk before you
know.
watch it, because it's just like the puppet.
It's
like,
one of those, like,
grandpa guy. It's cheesy.
it's a cheesy, like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to be in the mood to watch something silly like that. Like, it's silly. But it's cute that him and Jill Whitlow are both the characters in that movie. And, Jason was also in an episode of 21 Jump Street. You know, I've actually never seen an episode of that show.
Never in my
I
life.
just know that Johnny Depp is in
Yeah.
it. But you know
That
what?
was one of
The
his first
fucking
roles.
movies are hilarious.
I mean, the remake movies, yeah, they're
Yeah,
funny.
like,
Yeah.
honestly, the movies with Channing Tatum, so funny. I thought they were hilarious. He's also in, this is a movie that I have mentioned before in our Lost Boys episode, Rock and Roll High School Forever
Oh,
with
yeah.
Corey Feldman. I still have not seen this movie, but I need to watch it because not only Corey Feldman is in it, because it looks awful. Like, it looks so bad.
Oh, yeah.
But I still want to watch
It's
it.
worth a watch because it's so bad.
But yeah, well, he took a break from acting in the early 90s, and now he works for a computer company, and he owns a mobile roasted corn business.
Oh, you son of a bitch. That's where the money's at.
Right?
Hell yeah.
It's called
Corn's
Jimmy.
delicious!
Jimmy Crack Corn is the name of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and he's married, and he's got 2 kids,
Megan's face.
and he lives in Utah.
Oh, that explains it.
Heber City, Utah. So he's like out there with like 10 wives and his crack corn business or whatever.
Jimmy Crack Corn.
Jimmy Crack Corn.
But let's be honest, corn is delicious.
It is.
It's twice tea.
It's twice tea.
It's twice.
I don't know why I said it like that. Well,
I'd like to remind our listeners that Yasmin is the only sober one here tonight.
Yeah, I know. Because I'm still recovering from Rockin' Con.
I know, like
the cutest little drunk girl I ever met in my
I know, that's
life.
it. Like, these guys texted me and called me the next day just to make sure that, like, I didn't fucking, like, drown in my vomit.
well, because like
And,
it was like literally so late, and we were like, "Oh my god, have you heard from Yasmin yet?" It's like 1:00, and she still hasn't texted.
I know. It's a rare kind of drunk. I don't get that drunk very often, like maybe once every 2 years or so. But it was definitely worth it. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, you guys were like texting me. You were like, "Fuck, is she alive?"
Jamie's
Oh, it's
family was
okay.
over, and I literally was like, I was drunk.
I'm worried.
I was drunk again the next
I'm
day.
sorry to make you guys worry, but like I felt so like I kind of like I texted you guys the next day and I was like, I hope I wasn't like too maggoty.
Oh,
and
shut
you guys
your
were both like, no, you're
face.
like the happiest drunk ever. Tits.
We got some
We
nipples.
got some boobies.
We got some straight up nipples.
You can't have an 80s horror movie without boobs in the shower.
Here's the thing, though. You know, it's
And none of
only
their
like
hair is
steam. It's only like a steam
I know.
thing. 'cause
Their
none of
hair
is
never
wet.
gets wet.
Oh my god, I'm so into this like frat party we're having right now.
I know.
Pepto-Bismol, actually, that's a smart move.
Yeah. It's like right next to the beer.
I love that girl's old school eyeshadow applicator, like the little brush with the
Yes,
plastic with
I
the little
know.
foam.
Yeah,
That
it's always
is
blue
some
too.
Avon shit,
It's
yeah.
always blue.
Yeah.
It's like blue was the color for eyeshadow in the 80s. It's
Powder
like
blue.
if you watch Unsolved Mysteries, every female interviewee has
Blue eyeshadow.
blue eyeshadow,
Powder blue eyeshadow, pink blush, and red
pink blush.
lipstick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very it was like a very like a serious like look at my face kind of year.
Yeah, for
Decade.
sure. I agree. We should bring it back.
Oh, I mean, like the lightning bolt fucking blush.
Yeah, man.
So
like
sharp.
Pat Benatar.
Oh, so sharp. Oh yes. Okay, so here is I feel like the poster, almost the poster. He's got his little rose in. Like this is where it all kind of what'd you call that shit? The climax.
Yeah, the climax is about to happen soon here. So Jill Whitlow is the main female actor in this, and she was in Guys, I've never seen it, but Porky's.
I've never seen it either.
Oh, okay. I thought I was definitely gonna get some flack there.
No.
I've never seen Porky's.
I mean, I
Never
know
seen
it because it's like apparently one of those like
It's a very iconic poster
yeah,
as well.
an iconic movie, like seminal, like fucking like college like party kind of movies or whatever.
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it
I
either.
just like I don't know. I just
Just
never
feels
seen
like
it.
Animal House.
Yeah,
I
like, in
do
that same
love
vein.
Animal
It's
House.
right.
That
It's like the
movie is
same
hilarious.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, she's also in my favorite John Hughes movie, Weird Science.
Yeah.
With your boyfriend, Bill Paxton.
Yes.
I love that movie so much. I could actually watch it every day and not get sick of it. She was also in Mask with
Fuck.
Cher and Eric Stoltz.
Eric Stoltz.
I've
Hey,
actually
you
never
guys
seen
can just
it.
shut your fucking mouths. That movie makes me tear.
I've
That
never
movie,
seen it. Good movie.
Mask and Steel Magnolias, like stop. No, it's
never
a
seen that movie, too.
heart-wrenching-
Mask is a good
It is
movie.
I mean, you want to talk about not hidden talent because Cher was never a hidden talent, but you want to talk about almost wasted talent. Cher should have been in more movies.
Yeah.
I
She was
agree
just
with
one of
that.
those people who could literally do it all. She
Yeah.
could sing, she could dance, she was a presence
Yeah.
in a room, right? And she acted.
Well, she was
and
awesome
she was
in The
fucking
Witches of Eastwick.
great at acting.
No, but
yeah.
this movie
Yeah.
was about like her disabled son, and she was heartbroken about him, and it was like this
I
traumatic.
know
like,
what it is. I've just never seen it.
Her in a
Oh, Mask is
traumatic
really good,
role,
yeah.
like
Yeah. Okay.
ugh.
Well, now I gotta watch it because I do love Cher in Moonstruck. She's hilarious in
Yeah.
that movie with Nicolas Cage, One True God. But yeah, so Jill was also, and I love this. She was in an episode of T.J. Hooker. Do you remember that show?
T.J. Hooker, of course I do.
Okay, so literally once an episode, 21 Jump Street or TJ Hooker comes up. I'm not kidding you, or Seinfeld.
Yeah.
These are the shows that every actor like cuts their teeth on, it seems like, in the 80s. Like literally we've said TJ Hooker or 21 Jump Street or Seinfeld. Every
It's
single
funny
episode.
the other day, like when I was doing my research, I texted Morgan a picture of William Shatner from T.J. Hooker, and her response was like, "T.J. Hooker, brah." And Angela Atkins was in it too.
Of
course. With Heather Locklear. Fantastic hair. Jill was also in an episode of Freddy's Nightmares. I've never seen every episode of Freddy's Nightmares. I have one tape, but I haven't seen all of them. She's also in a movie that I love called Twice Dead. Oh. I love that movie. That's another very, very good campy 80s horror movie.
Yeah.
The cover is fantastic too. It's a guy in a tux and he's like all blue and he's like smashing through glass.
Oh.
I love it.
See that.
Oh, smash!
Smash!
She was in Thunder Run as well, which I don't know much about, but
title.
It was a movie.
It's great.
Yeah.
Thunder Run. She was also in a Winger video. The video for Hungry.
Really?
Yeah, I watched it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was it good?
I don't remember.
Because I love Winger. Like, Kip Winger, he was alright. He was pretty hot.
Hungry like the wolves.
Hungry like Kip Winger.
And I'm hungry like Kim Winger.
Kip Winger!
That's awesome. But she stopped acting in the 90s as well, but I'm not sure what she's doing now.
Yeah, there was no updates.
Well, speaking of Seinfeld, Suzanne Snyder has a very small role in this, and she's the main girl from Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and she's also we talked about this in the Killer Clowns from Outer Space episode. She's in the Seinfeld episode, her uncle is Poppy, and they go to the restaurant, and he doesn't. Yeah, no, Poppy's a little sloppy.
Poppy's a little sloppy.
That's actually one of the Seinfeld episodes that I can remember.
Yeah, he doesn't wash his hands, and he refuses to
pie.
eat it.
Yeah, and he freaks out about it.
Well, Poppy's a little sloppy, and she's also in Weird Science as well. She's the girl that falls for Anthony Michael Hall, I believe, and she's also in Return of the Living Dead Part 2. So she did a lot of horror in the 80s. I'm not really sure what she's doing these days, though.
Yeah,
but she's kind of cute.
Stripping for money. She is a breeder. She just has babies and sells them. What else can I come up with? She sends her dirty underwear away online.
You can make good money doing that.
Yeah,
I know.
From what I've heard.
Guys, I'm about to rip my fucking sweaty tits off.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking hot.
it's so hot here, guys. I know that a lot of you don't think that it gets warm in Canada, but
It fucking gets.
You've
Guess
never
again,
been in the smog belt
motherfuckers.
of southern Ontario.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like Southern Ontario is the most southern of Canada. So
It's just smoggy as shit down here. Like, we got the Sarnia pollution plant. Like, we got some, I'm not trying to say Canada's dirty whatsoever, but southwestern Ontario, fuck.
Yeah, and
We
we're
get
surrounded by the Great
Toronto,
Lakes. Yeah.
Detroit, Windsor, we get fucked.
Yeah.
we actually can't wait to finish this because we're going swimming.
In a pistol. Oh! There's gonna be barbecue chicken wings.
Oh, fuck yeah. Sweet, I'm excited. Well, I want to talk about the Bradster. So
The Bradinator!
I love the Bradster. Like, he's like your typical, like, shitty fucking douchebag jock from an 80s movie.
Yeah.
Like, they cast the perfect guy to play the Bradster. His name is Alan Kaiser. This is just like an interesting fact. It has nothing to do with horror or anything, but he graduated from Columbine High School.
Oh, interesting.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But this is adorable. He ran a dance academy with his wife for years. So that's cute. It's like the opposite of the Bradster.
Right?
But yeah, I love that character. He's just adorable. I couldn't find... Oh, Dick Miller!
Yay!
Dick Miller!
I love him! Demon Knight! Gremlins!
Dick Miller! He's so
I'm shouting
cute.
out words.
The Burbs. He's the garbage man.
Burbs.
of the
Isn't he
Burbs.
in the Terminator?
Yeah, he sells him the guns.
Yeah.
And then Arnold just kills him.
He's just...
He's so ungrateful.
He's in all the good roles.
You know what's really funny is, okay, so for some reason, when I rewatched the Terminator, I like watched this and I was like, isn't that Columbo? But it's not Columbo. I was like,
Dick Miller was Columbo.
I thought it was the guy who plays Columbo. They look
That's
very
funny.
fucking similar.
And they're always wearing like
the trench coat.
taupe.
Yeah,
trench
trench coats. Yeah.
Do you know
He's
who
in
else he
taupe right
reminds
now.
me of? He reminds me of, now you're going to rack your brains for this one.
Oh.
He reminds me of the silent police officer from every Ernest movie ever. He was all silent.
My brain is racking
His name was
right
Bob
now.
or something, and he
Oh my
kind of
god!
had this like
Yeah,
this like lip thing, and he was all wrinkle faced, like he smoked 1,000 cigarettes a morning.
Yeah, he's also in Chopping Mall. He's the janitor, and he's also wearing taupe. And he's wearing taupe right now.
And he's always so sweet. He's always so helpful and sweet and like.
And he always gets his head blown off for some shit.
Yeah. Poor Dick Miller.
Always
See, Tom
in
Atkins
taupe.
is fucking pointing a shotgun at him.
God damn it.
I couldn't find any information about the actor who plays JC though. His name is Steve Marshall.
Yeah,
and
all I had was 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
Which, I mean...
I guess that's a sign. I guess I should watch 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, maybe.
No?
Whoa! Hey, puppy.
Is it not good?
No, you should.
Well, I don't know. I started Miami
pretty
Vice
80s.
recently, and that's pretty good. I love Don Johnson's outfits in that fucking show.
I love his singing and his musical career.
I mean, all those old shows, all those, they're good. They're all good. I mean, like...
It's a decent cop show, though. Oh, there's Suzanne Snyder.
There she is.
And her
What a
purple
perfect
dress.
bitch.
I know, right?
She is.
She
She's
looks
very
like
cute.
Scandinavian almost.
Yeah,
she's like got
she's
that
cute.
perfect complexion.
Yeah. She's too good to be a stripper, let's be honest.
Way too good.
Aw, the Bradster's a zombie. He's better off as a zombie, though.
Brad's here. As if she doesn't notice his sunken in.
I know,
fucking
right?
face.
Like, he looks like a corpse.
Right? Like,
Bitch.
what the fuck?
But she's like totally blonde, and I think that's stereotype.
She's very
doesn't know that.
flaky like that in Return of the Living Dead Part 2 as well, and Killer Clowns, but especially Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
That's
she's so
typecast,
fucking...
'cause she's pretty and
so
blonde,
flaky
and it
in
was
that
the
movie.
80s, right?
Yeah, she screams a lot in that movie too, like, holy fuck, like every 10 minutes she's just freaking the fuck out. Well, the tagline for this movie, as we all know, is Thrill Me, and it's said 5 times by Tom Atkins and once by Jason Lively. So we're at the part where all the zombies are come hithering towards the epic climax of the death of this movie, and Jill Whitlow just is walking downstairs right now wearing, of course, she's elegant,
Probably
and all the
the
other
prettiest
girls are all
dress.
Probably the
sluts.
prettiest dress I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. She doesn't notice either, though. She's like...
I love this. Like, he's your boyfriend.
And she
and
doesn't
he's
notice.
You don't
also
notice
dead, and
that-
you're not noticing it.
Right? That he doesn't look like...
And they've
he
made
looks
it
so
very
fucked up.
Evil Deadish. Like, he's got no pupils. Like, he looks like a
Yeah.
Deadite. He
Yeah.
straight up looks like a Deadite.
Like,
how are
bitch,
you not
his
seeing
eyes
this?
are white. But I guess maybe I don't know.
They're making it so she's not looking at him.
And now
being all
she's gonna, like,
coy.
tell him some stuff like, I have some really serious emotions I need to talk to you about.
I'm loving his face.
And he's just drooling on
He's
himself.
drooling slug.
Ooh, flamethrower.
I love this part where
Badass.
Tom fucking shoots him in the head and slugs come out of his face.
Oh my god.
That part's fucking awesome.
And then he flamethrows his fucking head.
Well, there was an alternate scene where Cameron's head bursts open and slugs slither into nearby cemetery for new hosts. Then the aliens from the beginning, they show up again because it sucks. The only thing I don't like about this movie is that the only time that you see the aliens is at the beginning
Yeah,
of the movie.
it's
And they're
weird.
so cute. Like, why didn't they show them more? Please.
Yeah.
Show them again.
They don't kind of like bring it all around, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
but
they
I
show
didn't
them at
watch
the beginning.
the alternate scene, but you did more.
Yeah, the
right?
alternate ending. I did watch it. So apparently the theatrical release, obviously that's what would be on like the Blu-ray, DVD, VHS. But apparently it showed Chris and Cynthia standing in front of the burning sorority house, and then the police cars race towards the burning building. They race by the charred and zombified Cameron, who's actually shuffling down the street, and he's still smoking a cigarette. Then he suddenly stops and falls to the ground. His head bursts open, and the slugs that are incubating in his brain, they go out towards the cemetery, you said, suggesting that the slugs have found a new host. And then searchlights are appearing from the night sky, revealing that the source is the spaceship, so that the aliens have come back to sort of get the slugs from the beginning of the film.
So that probably would have set it up for a sequel.
Yeah,
but maybe
totally.
they didn't want to do a sequel or something.
Yeah, so I guess the idea is that the aliens were retrieving the experiment from the cemetery and then proposing a sequel is exactly what it was.
But then just a shitty sequel came out in 2007 that has nothing to do with it.
Right? And yeah, it absolutely does.
Apparently, I was like reading online, and like a lot of fans like still fucking write Fred Decker all the time, and they still keep wanting him to do an official sequel.
It could honestly be so much fun. Like, I get that he was going for the idea of like the campy, like 50s kind of horror, but to me, like, this movie is pretty sound. Like, it's not cheesy or
No.
But I also
funny.
feel like you could do a sequel for next to nothing.
Yeah.
Even
Oh,
though
yeah.
it's not,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I think that you could do one that would fit, and it wouldn't be cheesy. It wouldn't be anything. You
Totally.
would fit on a
Still
budget.
need Tom Atkins though.
Well, he'd have-
Yeah.
It still needs Tom Atkins.
I bet you he would agree to do it.
Oh, for sure. He definitely would, because since this was his favorite role.
Yeah. He could reprise the role,
Yeah,
and they
for
could
sure.
fucking have the aliens do another experiment. And
Yeah.
I think it could be done really, really well.
Okay, well, Night of the Creeps was, it was produced by Charles Gordon, and his brother is Lawrence Gordon, and he produced so many fucking action movies in the 90s.
He was huge.
It's like insane. Him and Charles, they worked together on some stuff. Like they worked together on Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Predator and Predator 2, and the new Predator. And I believe that Charles Gordon produced Waterworld.
I know, which is fucking.
Oh, well, there it is.
Paper.
Say no more.
Paper.
Say
I
no
was
more.
I think we must have said this on the podcast before, but for some reason, like ever since I was a little kid, that's the part that I always just
Oh,
like
totally.
comes to mind when I think of Waterworld. Is
You
when
guys
the
are
guy's
so
like,
weird.
"Paper,
No, you
paper."
gotta think of the part with the giant fish.
Oh yeah,
Where
and then they eat it.
Kevin Costner is like in
Actually,
the
you know
water.
what? When they
Yeah.
eat it, I have to admit, it looks pretty tasty.
yeah.
like it's like charred.
delicious. Yes, delicious.
Yeah, paper. I remember that part. I'm pretty sure, and that guy is in like Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah,
or
I
some
think so.
shit.
Yeah, no, he has gone on to.
No,
to
he's
do
the
some
guy
serious
that
things.
says paper. Paper.
But yeah, so Charles Gordon, he's done tons of shit. It's crazy. Event Horizon too.
Oh, nice.
I saw, which I actually just watched like 2 nights ago.
That
It's a good one.
movie is so good.
It's a good one. It's like Hellraiser in space,
It
even though
is.
Hellraiser tried to do a space one, but it's like
It's like, first of all, Sam Neill can do no wrong.
right.
I know.
Ever.
He's perfect.
You're right. You're right.
Ever. You put him in any
Dude,
scripted
in the Mouth of
movie.
Madness.
No, stop. You can't even.
So
like,
good.
He is so fucking good.
Yeah.
He was also in an Agatha Christie adaptation, and then there were none, and it was like a 10-part, and it was like one of my favorite books.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes his roles make the movie though.
It's
Yeah.
true. He's a wonderful,
If
wonderful
he wasn't
actor.
in The Mouth of Madness, if he wasn't in Event Horizon, I mean, he brings that spooky vibe where he's like looking at shit with his fucking eye.
You know
Yeah.
what
fucking
other
eyes,
movie Sam Neill is in that I recently watched for the first time and it blew my fucking mind was Possession.
Yeah, Possession
Oh,
is fucked.
God. Yeah.
That movie is brilliant. I initially I had a little bit of I'm not sure moments. Like
Yeah.
I was like,
oh,
I don't
same.
know how I feel
I
about
had to
this
look it
movie.
up afterwards and be like,
But
what is
then
this
when
movie
I
actually about?
finished it, I was like, this movie is so weird that it's fantastic. Like
Yeah.
it's so original.
Yeah, it's like you're not really sure what's happening. Like, is it actually present in like the physical realm? Is it in their heads? What's going on? You see his dick for like a minuscule second in it too. It's like one of those pause
Yeah,
moments.
I know, yeah.
He turns around. There
That-
it is.
Yeah, no, Possession is such a fucking good movie. I can't believe I have never seen it before.
Oh my motherfucking
shit.
Slug Hill.
All the slugs. Okay, well, let's talk about some movies that Night of the Creeps remind us of. And so I mentioned earlier that, yes, the theme of this movie, for me personally, is that it's very campy. It's like the perfect movie for like an 80s sleepover. I love that it embodies all these different elements in it. Great actors. It's fun. It's funny. It's disgusting. So to me, my number one, the movie that reminds me the most of this movie is Invaders from Mars. The Tobe Hooper Invaders from Mars. Like that movie is just like this because
Yeah.
it also embodies like Karen Black is in it and you've seen. Have you seen it?
I don't know if I've seen it.
Oh fuck!
I've seen it.
It's so good.
I've
like
seen it,
it's
yeah.
it's got aliens. The fact that they say David Gardner like fucking 50 times, like his full name. You gotta say his last name too.
I didn't even notice that. I just
David
noticed, like,
Gardner. David Gardner.
What
Stop
you're
saying
saying
his
is,
full
like-
name.
It was like the time, like the,
I know,
the
yeah.
era for me is like what really got me. Like when you're watching it, it's like that, like you said, it's so campy. It's like the era is almost how do I describe it? It's like almost like highlighted. Like
Yeah.
what period it's represented is like like this. You know, when you're representing a period, it's like highlighted because they're so like playing it up and shit.
Yeah.
That's what like it really like resonates with me.
For sure. And like the aliens in that movie, they look fantastic.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the creature design in that movie is great. Slimy and like veiny, and like the main alien is like, he's just a giant head with like little tentacles.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he's
yeah.
so cute. I love it. Obviously we mentioned it already, but Slither.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
come on. Like fucking like the slugs are very reminiscent. The movie Slugs. I think Morgan has never seen it. Have you
I've never
Megan?
seen it.
I've never seen
Oh
it.
my god! Why? Okay, Slugs is fantastic. It's such a fucking great movie. There's like, no, I'm not even gonna say anything. Like, we're just gonna like, no, because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. But Slugs is such a fun movie. We talked about it already, but House,
Yep.
Yeah.
like it just
It has that.
different characters, and you know, like it's cheesy, but it's not too cheesy. It's like fun.
Critters was
Critters
on my
for
list as
sure.
well. It's
Yeah.
got that like kind of like cheese, but like supposed to be kind of scary,
Critters
but like
was on my
Yeah,
list.
yeah,
Critters
it's
for sure.
got a
Like,
campy vibe to
Critters
it.
is like one of those movies that I always watch in the summertime. I don't know why, but for some reason, like I have like summertime movies and I have winter movies and fall like music. Like I listen to Typo Negative in October.
Of course,
and
who doesn't?
like in the summer, I always have to watch like Sleepaway Camp and all the Friday 13th because of the camp. But yeah, Critters, for some reason, like I always want to watch it during the summertime, and that movie is very campy as well. Creep Show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
would
has
say
that same
Creep
vibe.
Show is very campy. And I'll mention one more, which was a very surprising discovery and find for me, but it totally makes sense, is Planet Terror.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see that
Like
as well.
all the oozy zombies and the action and even like the gore, the blood,
Yeah.
the cheesiness, and like some of the actors. Like I thought Planet Terror was very campy.
Yeah.
Like, and I actually totally forgot about it until I was doing some research, and I was like, oh yeah, Planet Terror. Like that was a really fun movie.
I love
Is
that
it Bruce
duel.
Willis? It is Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis
Oh,
is in
weird.
Planet Terror.
That's
Yeah, I had to look it up because I haven't seen it in like years. But yeah, no, he's in it. And Michael Bean. I forgot Michael
Yeah,
Bean was
oh
in
my
it. Oh my
God.
god. Okay, we should rewatch Planet
Yeah,
Terror.
Yeah,
it's
no,
been.
because
You know
that's
what?
a really
I
fun
remember
camping
I saw
movie.
it when it came out, and I don't think I've seen it since.
I used to own it on DVD, but I think I sold it. But now, after doing this research, I kind of want to watch it again.
Yeah, I would totally be into it.
Okay, so I was gonna say, first of all, I wanted to say, I know we just did it, but it really reminded me of Chopping Mall.
Yeah.
Because it was like a bunch of kids,
Yeah,
and it was
you're
like super
right.
cheesy and like
Yeah.
old and blah, blah, blah. And then, now Yasmina, you're not gonna maybe remember this, but you might, but we didn't really get to watch it. There is a segment in Chillerama, which is an anthology.
Oh, I was really drunk when we watched
Right,
that. I
so
barely remember it.
The part that I want to give credit to is Wadzilla, about a giant sperm that goes around terrorizing the city.
Is it in black and white?
It's black and white.
Oh, okay. Is that the one that
And-
Adam Green did? Because I know he did one
No,
of the segments.
it was
Oh,
actually
okay.
another Adam. It was Adam Rifkin,
Oh, okay.
like from Seinfeld. So it was Adam Rifkin, and like for some, it's this. If anyone out there's seen Chillerama, you know what I'm talking about. It's very like Grease, like doo-wop, and there's a sperm
Yeah.
running around and like
Yeah,
eating
yeah.
everyone,
That's
like
fucking
Greaser, black and
hilarious.
white.
I
and
definitely
so-
remember the poster for Chillerama was pretty fun.
Hilarious.
That's a very campy poster
Yeah.
for sure.
So those are the only ones I had because like I feel like this movie relates to so many movies I saw growing up, but not that I watched the movies. To
Yeah,
me, this
yeah.
movie is a box. To me, this movie is when I walked by as a kid, and it was like that. It was Demons with the pizza face demon with the
Yeah.
white hair. Do you know that shirt I
Yeah.
have?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? It was that. It was Fright Night. Like to me, Night of the Creeps is
It's all about the poster.
100%.
Yeah. It's so
totally
nostalgic.
Agree. I totally fucking agree. I've always like I just moved and I had a list of posters that I wanted to get framed for my new apartment, and this list has existed for the past couple of
Yeah.
years, and this poster was up there on that list. I
Oh,
was
for
like,
sure.
it's the one with the guy with the tux. It's so good. Like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like a Fear Street cover.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. I love it. It's so good. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't even know who the artist is, but
We should look it up.
Kudos to you, sir
Yeah.
or lady.
Yeah. I don't really have much to add because I completely agree. The only other like sort of alien invasion movies that are sort of campy but also horror, They Live. That's a good one, I think. It's got some funny elements. I guess it's not really like kind of gory,
but it's got a Tom Atkins, Rodney Piper. Like it's got this like
yeah.
manly man.
I was gonna say, and I think Halloween 3 has a lot of They Live themes in it
that
as well,
sort of
for like conspiracy government shit.
Conspiracy, like kind of cheese. Also, honorable mention to Shivers, David Cronenberg, because that movie also kind of involves like a parasite slug kind of thing that infects people kind of similarly. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of campy movies that, like Return of the Living Dead or Evil Dead 2, Blood Diner, like Terrorvision. Those were other ones on my list, but...
Terrorvision's
a really good one.
You're right.
I would say it's got, like, some of those elements.
The Cavity Colors Terrorvision shirt, I was like, okay, I think I've seen that movie twice, but I bought the shirt because the design is fantastic.
So awesome.
And I kind of want to watch it again because like twice isn't enough.
I feel like the first time we watched
it together the first time, and we were like, what the
when we lived together.
And it looked like, I mean, the outside was a set, and I think that was the first
thing I love that. I love it.
I just think that movie is, like, so enjoyable. It's one of those movies I feel like I could just put on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, what are you watching? I don't know, some silly shit. Like,
that's like bad channels. Like, you put bad channels on in the background.
Yeah. It's got a lot of the same vibes.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys, for listening to our podcast. And we are going to go swimming and have some wings.
We'll keep Morgan in our hearts.
Actually, you know what? I keep forgetting that a lot of our listeners are American, and you guys don't know what Caesars are.
Clam juice, my babies. Clam juice.
Sorry. Guys, look up how to make a Caesar and just have one, and you'll thank us later. But yes, well, thank you very much for listening, as always, and we're very excited for more live shows, more episodes, and more fun things. We've got some fun things planned as well.
Oh, yeah.
So we're just going to be
sex.
Very secretive about it. It's butt sex.
Secrets
out. No, we're good. We have a new thing, a project that we're working on right now. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we'll get to release that soon. So we're really excited about that. But yeah, all right, let's go fucking swimming, bitches.
Okay.
All right, have a good night, everybody. Bye.